Hello everyone. I want to explain in this presentation about a video that the Family Federation made as a justification why they chose to make a new Cheon Seong Gyeong book, what their justifications were, and why Cheon made a committee led by Young Wee Kim. She made the chairman to change Father's words to make this new book.
Right after True Father's ascension, True Mother asked us to compile True Father's words for building the tradition of the unification movement rightly, in order to guide the Blessed Family's faith. True parents have achieved many victories. However, our most primary duty is maintaining the original speeches and complete the textbook for establishing ideal blessing. If there is a king who made the kingdom great and know the world and the principle. True Father's sermons are like treasures. Father continues to read them. I have to organize these words before my death. If there are some mistakes, they have to be corrected.
We'll look at this quote more closely. It comes from a speech Father gave in Tokyo, in Japan, in 1992. If you look, the quote they use is the center of this whole context. So we'll look briefly at what comes before that quote, what comes after it. Just before it states, there are more than 200 volumes in Father's sermons collection. How many of them have you read so far? This is a serious thing. Do you need to read them or not read them? Must read them. How many times should read? The more often you read them, the greater their value will be. You have to know everything. And then after the context, if it contains errors, it becomes a problem. If there is one single error among 200 volumes, bad people will catch it and do something. Even if it was a joke, they will turn it into a fact and create tens of thousands of denominations. I have to prevent it by all means. Those who abandon the perspective for history will go astray from the eternal world. So you cannot live life in an irresponsible manner. So we can see, we look now at the quotes they use, the actual quotes. We can see what they used. The one they used, they say, if there is a king who made the kingdom great and know the world and the principle, True Father's sermons are like treasures. Father continues to read them. I have to organize these words before my death. If there are some mistakes, they have to be corrected. If we read the original quote from the speech made in Japan, where it comes from, if there exists a king who knows how to make his country great and knows the world and the truth, Father's sermons collections is a treasure. Even now, Father is still perusing them. Before I pass away, I have to fine-tune the sermons collection. I need to correct errors, if any. So you can see how it's been changed. You can see clearly they change I into they, given the justification that anyone can change it. But Father was very clear. It was always clear in his life, no one can touch or change his words. He said, I will collect, if there's any mistakes, if there's any, I will correct it. Nobody else. And if there's any. But the errors he's talking about is a joke that could be misunderstood, as Father said. So this is no justification at all for changing Father's words, and it's a misquote. This is very important.
True Mother appointed President Kim Young-hee as the chairman of the compilation committee, President Lee Jae-suk, President Suk Jun-ho, and President Kim Hyo-yul as vice chairman. Over 20 members, including theology professors, started to edit and publish the Cheon Seong Gyeong.
So what did they do? They changed the content of pages 1179, 1141, 2530, and much more have disappeared from the book. They've removed all the content that would have not supported Hak-chan's new theology about herself being born without original sin as the only begotten daughter. And here's one example. They've removed a quote. My father said if his first wife, Sung Kyo Choi, kept faith, she would have been true mother and not Hak-han. And much more they've removed.
In Cheon Seong Gyeong, there are words that are repeated as many as 5 times.
They're concerned about repetitions up to 5 times. In a book there's over 2,500 pages. Repetitions is what Father always used as a method of educating us. He used the same phrases many times, same very important concepts. He explained about lineage, he repeated several times. Repetition is a teaching method, actually, and it's nonsensical to discredit that. There's no reason at all to change the Cheon Seong Gyeong book for that reason.
There were some mistakes in the 2006 version of Cheon Seong Gyeong. Let us look at page 384 and 385 in Cheon Seong Gyeong. In those pages, there are incorrect sources in 11 out of 17 paragraphs. Incorrect sources erode the book's credibility.
Some mistakes, they're not mistakes, they're just different sources. The sources is not the content. That's not a reason to change the Cheon Seong Gyeong book. But Father chose that content to be in the Cheon Seong Gyeong book. That's what's important. The Cheon Seong Gyeong book itself is the source. And it's a few wrong sources is a pathetic excuse to change the Cheon Seong Gyeong book.
Using a high-quality opaque cover, the weight of the book is much lighter, about 1.2 kilograms, and the thickness has decreased.
Since when did Father worry that his speeches were too long? They should have left the Cheon Seong Gyeong as it is, as Father left it. He knew what he was doing. They had no right to change for those reasons. So what did Father say about the Cheon Seong Gyeong book? Here's a few quotes we can look at. He states, I'm saying that you should not touch the Cheon Seong Gyeong book with regards to its contents. I'm telling you not to touch it, even if you have to explain the historical context by making a separate book. It means, the Bible, for example. Christian theologians, they've been trying to explain the context of when the Bible was written, but they didn't change the Bible itself. They made separate books. And this is what Father is saying. Don't touch the Cheon Seong Gyeong book. If you need to explain the context or anything like that, make a separate book. And he said the Cheon Seong Gyeong has to be kept for tens of thousands of years for your descendants. If Christianity had the Bible which Jesus left, would they have sectarian fights? Because of this, Cheon Seong Gyeong, you cannot have sectarian fights. The Cheon Seong Gyeong has to be kept for tens of thousands of years. No one can touch that. And he states, Also, I don't want anyone newly changing or editing anything among the things I wrote. They don't know why the content is the way it is. If they change the content without knowing, then they will be judged by everyone when they go to the other world. They will be charged for it. That's why nobody should touch it. Very clearly, Father states, no one could edit or change his words in any way. Nobody should touch the Cheon Seong Gyeong book. But this new Cheon Seong Gyeong book that's been made, it's a terrible crime. The Christians always respected the Bible. They never changed it. They always respected the words in the book of Revelation, which said no one should touch or change, add or take away anything from its contents. And they respected this. True Father is the second coming of Christ. We should respect that. As he said, the book, the Cheon Seong Gyeong, his words need to be studied for tens of thousands of years for all our descendants. No one can touch it. We need to study it. We can make a separate book. We can make many books in order to enhance our understanding of it, but never change the text itself. Anyway, this is a terrible thing that has happened in our time. The Lord of the Second Advent has appeared in Rev Moon, True Father, but his words were changed. And this really needs to be exposed. This new Cheon Seong Gyeong book was made to edit out that much content that Hak Cheon did not want and the corrupt leaders. So this book should not exist. And this really needs to be known. It's a fake book. And I hope this presentation has helped you understand this. We really need to always follow the Lord of the Second Advent, True Father. He established God's lineage on the earth, passed on to his youngest son, Hyunjinim, who created the Sanctuary Church for that very purpose, to protect and preserve True Father's words and traditions. Anyway, thank you for hearing this presentation. Thank you very much.